It is called Milo here in Australia. Isn't that interesting? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Buki here. Thank you guys for stopping by. In today's video, I will be sharing with you my culture shock experience here in Australia. Guys, as a Nigerian living in Australia, there are some things that I've experienced that are quite shocking. Now, it might not be new to you. Some of you might have heard some of these things before, but this is my own first time of experiencing them. So they are quite shocking, and I'll share them with you. Some of you might find them very useful, especially if you plan on relocating to Australia. So guys, let's get into it. The very first culture shock that I experienced there in Australia is the fact that Australia is a very quiet country. Guys, Australia is really, really quiet compared to Nigeria, where I'm coming from. I'm coming from Nigeria. You know now, Nigeria is a very loud country. The noise everywhere, is it the sound of generator or the cars or music everywhere? Nigeria is very, very loud, and I'm used to that, you know. So coming into Australia, I realized everywhere was just so quiet. Everything was so cool. It was too cool for my liking, you know. So for someone who is used to the noise in Nigeria, it takes a lot of getting used to for you to get used to the quiet here in Australia. But some people prefer it. So if you're the type that likes quiet environment, you will really adjust to Australia. But for me, it took a lot of getting used to, even till now. Sometimes I'm going on the road and I'm thinking, these shops here, they should play loud music now. Guys, I need sound. So most of the time, if you want something loud, maybe you do it in your house, because Australia is not a loud or noisy country. Now, I'm not saying that Australians are quiet, no. But the fact is that the country as a whole, the country itself, is a very, very quiet country. The very second culture shock for me is the use of first names. Now, I understand that in some cultures, young people can call adults by their first name. It's very understandable. In Australia, a lot of people prefer to be called by their first name. But the shock for me is these older people expecting you to call them by their name. So you see a man, old to be your grandfather, telling you, just call me Tom. Yes, sir. I cannot call you Tom. The African in me cannot call you Tom. Excuse me, I cannot call you Tom. You know, because in Nigeria, where I'm coming from, even if people tell you, you can just call me by my first name, either a man or a woman, you want to put something like Mr. or Mrs. something, or, you know, you just want to show that you respect them. And it's very rare for adults to tell you to call them by their name in Nigeria. So I'm not used to that. So getting to Australia, and I see people, I see students calling their supervisors by name. I'm like, It's quite hilarious, but it takes a lot of getting used to as well. So you get used to it because you will see a lot of interesting things. I've seen people in church, and maybe I see older women greeting younger boys, and they're saying, "Oh, hello Joshua," and the boy is like, "Hi Mary," and Mary is a great grandmother. I cannot scan. I can't. Oh my goodness. The third culture shock for me is the community feel. Guys, unlike Nigeria, Australia doesn't really have that community kind of feel, in the sense that people keep to themselves a lot in Australia. That's the truth of it. People keep to themselves a lot in Australia. So you can be living beside someone for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and all you get to say to the person is hi, hello, and you might not even know their children's name. You just know your neighbor. And some people just know their neighbors, they recognize them, but they don't talk, they don't relate. It's a very common thing here in Australia. Now, it's not like everywhere is like that. It's not like everyone is like that. Some people do relate with their neighbors. Some people relate with people on their street. But it takes a lot of intentionality. Unlike Nigeria, where everybody is everybody is close. Your neighbor on the right knows your neighbor on the left. Your neighbor on the left knows you. They know the school you attended. They know your parents. They know everything about you. that community feeling in Nigeria is a very beautiful thing. For me, I really love it and I really do miss it. You know, you can meet someone on the street and the person is telling you things about yourself. That's because they stay in your street. They've known you since you were little. And that is how Nigeria is. People get to relate easily in Nigeria. Yeah, there are a few people who want to keep to themselves, but it's not a very common thing. Australians keep to themselves. I love Nigeria. I love Australia, but you know, some of these things are just very shocking to me. You might have heard this before, but this is my first time of experiencing it. Australians hardly use their car horns. It's very rare for you to see people use the car horns because they have absolutely no reason to use it. Compared to Nigeria, where people use the car horns for very interesting reasons. People use the car horns to greet people, to alert people, to do very interesting things, sometimes to do absolutely nothing. Some people just enjoy pressing the horn, even they use it as beats sometimes, and you know, they're just pressing it and moving their head. It is so hilarious, and that's one of the reasons why Nigeria is a very noisy country. Because people press the horn at very interesting times. But compared to Australia, where they have absolutely no reason to use it, the people know the rules on the road, they know what to do, they know what not to do. So most times you don't really have a reason to use the car on. Now, I remember a particular experience I had when I first came into Australia. My husband was trying to show me how to drive on Australian road. So while we were driving, I was the one driving, and when we approached a particular corner on the road, a particular bend on the road, I pressed the on because I wanted the oncoming vehicle to know that I'm coming. So please take note. But you know, when I pressed the on, my husband was like, why did you do that? Why did you have to press the on? I was like, you know the rule now. I wanted oncoming vehicles to know that I'm approaching. And I was like, no, you don't have to do that. As long as you stay on your lane, the oncoming vehicle is also on his own lane. You don't have to use the on at all. Each person will go their way, you know. And that was very interesting. He said, you don't have to press the on. You don't want to startle people on the road. Sometimes you can press the on and people are scared because they're not used to it. They're thinking, why did you do that? Is there something happening? You know? So in Australia, people hardly use the car ons, and I find that very shocking. Compared to Nigeria, where I'm coming from. I'm used to the sound of horns. Even when I was coming from the airport and I was going home, when I first got into this country, I noticed it. It was obvious, but I didn't really see it as a thing. I thought maybe because it was night and maybe they don't use the horn at night. But the thing is, night, morning, afternoon, you would hardly hear the sound of horn. It is very, very rare. I've heard it maybe once or twice, and that was because the driver that used the horn found the person in front of him extremely slow. You know, the green light had already signaled the guy in front of him to move, but that one still stayed there for a while. He did not move, so he used the horn to like alert him that is everything okay? Why are you not moving? And apparently there was something wrong with the other guy's car. So you know, it is very, very rare, you know, and it is quite shocking. So take notes. Yeah, and then my very next culture shock, not really culture shock like that, but is worth mentioning, is the fact that here in Australia, guys, they don't call Milo. It is not Milo. It is called Milo here in Australia. Isn't that interesting? When I first got here, I saw it and I was very happy because I like taking Milo. So it's now Milo. I like drinking it a lot. And so when I saw it, I told my husband, we need to buy Milo. And I was like, they call it Milo here. And you know, I forgot again. There was a day we went to visit someone and we stayed over at their place. And in the morning, the lady was asking, what would you like to have? I was like, let me just take Milo first, then I will know. She was like, okay. It's obvious that you just came. Because here in Australia, it is called Milo. So guys, if you're coming into Australia, have it in mind. It is not Milo, it is Milo. And that reminds me, you know these drinks that we call tea in Nigeria? Milo, Bonvita, you know, generally we call them tea. We say we want to drink tea. Here in Australia, they're just called maybe chocolate drinks or hot chocolates. What they refer to as tea here are the ones with the tea bags, like Lipton, English breakfast. So most of the time, if people tell you, I don't mind the cup of tea, don't make Milo for them or don't make Bonvita. Because they're going to be like, okay. they may not want to embarrass you, because it has happened to me before. Someone came to visit and I was trying to, do alejo. So I said, would you like tea or juice, or what would you want to have? And she was like, I don't mind having a cup of tea. And I said, okay, so would you like my Milo or English breakfast? And she just smiled and was like, okay, English breakfast is fine. And later she just let me know that, okay, that's like chocolate drink, and this is tea. So guys, you should know that. My next culture shock is the fact that here in Australia, you don't look down on any job. Unlike Nigeria, whereby there are some jobs that you see as kind of job. Guys, in Australia, even the jobs that you think are not so clean like that, these people are making their money, and everyone is respected because everyone is making their money either ways. So you see carpenters, painters, all of these guys, they don't underestimate their jobs here, because these people will charge you. Yes, they make good money, they build good houses. So guys, it's not just white collar jobs that are the reigning jobs in Australia. Different kinds of jobs people do. Everyone is respected. Everyone is, you respect people, you honor them, you honor everyone, you honor everyone's job. When someone tells you, I'm a cleaner, don't look like, hey, cleaner, fine girl like you, guy, that cleaner that you're looking at, that person is doing things. So guys, I think that's just it for now. Let me just call this part 1, because I'm so sure there are still some other things that I would experience, and I will come back to share with you guys. But this is my first set of culture shock in Australia. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want more of stuff like this, you guys should let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys for staying to the end. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Catch you in the next video.